I'm very proud to celebrate the 10th anniversary of 10 Minutes of Torah. Every Monday morning I open my inbox and I find a new Dvar Torah, a new voice, helping me understand the Torah portion of the week to come, the week that's just beginning. And many of the times I'm very surprised because the commentator shows me ways of thinking about Torah that I've never really thought about before. I speak to you today on the eve of Pesach, even though you'll be seeing this on Shavuot, and I'm realizing that what the Torah tells me about Passover and about the Seder is really quite different than all the customs and rituals that I come to assume are part of what Judaism requires of me for Seder. As I look into each holiday, I realize that the Torah gives us the basis on which we have created all the rituals and layers of minhag, of custom, that we've come to adopt over the years. But the core text, the principal reason that we do things, is always articulated in the Torah. So on Passover, I learned once again that Jews like to celebrate holidays when there's a full moon. The 15th of Nisan, when Pesach begins, notice not the first of the month, but the 15th when there's a full moon instead of a new moon, or even Sukkot on the 15th of Tishrei when there's a full moon, when there are going to be public celebrations, when families were going to gather, when we were going to make our big sacrifices and eat them. That's when we wanted to gather, when there was plenty of light outside. The mitzvah for Passover is really quite direct in the Torah. It tells us that we should tell our children that this is because of what God did for me that I came out of Egypt, that God brought me out of Egypt, that it's a personal story, that the Torah is not a story about someone else, it's not the history of someone else, but it's our personal story, be it the beginning of Genesis and the story of Abraham and all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and their travails with their families. They're not just a piece of history or a story, a nice story in a book. They're in fact reminding us that God's relationship to the Jewish people and our relationship to one another, that is the Jewish story. We write the Jewish story every day. We write a new Torah every day. And 10 Minutes of Torah reminds me that for generations and generations, Jews have been looking at the source text to remind them that we have the right to write our own Torah, that we have the responsibility to interpret that text, but mostly we have the responsibility to make sure we know what's in that text. And 10 Minutes of Torah brings that to us every week.